Hvorfor?
Hi. Welcome to this live event from All in K-pop's online club.
Today we are having two very special guests, and we are so excited to present them to you. Through their years of working together, they have come up with a line of hits. The newest one they wrote is for GOT7's Die album, the title track, Not by the Moon. So welcome so much, Jay and Rudy.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Thank you for the warm introduction. And how you doing, everybody? Nice to see you guys. So how do we get this started?
Let's see. Yeah. So I guess the thing we're gonna do is just you guys ask us whatever you guys want to ask us about. If you have any questions to K-pop, or if you have any questions about just
music in general,
in general, you just write down your question, and we can start answering it.
Yeah. And we can just do a quick introduction as well on ourselves. We're Jay and Rudy. I'm Jay, and this is Rudy. And we've been doing K-pop for like 5 years now. And we have our own studio here in Denmark, and that's pretty much it. Let's get the ball rolling. Let's see. We got the first question here is, how was it working with Not by the Moon? Okay, sorry. Okay, let's only focus on that question. It was great. We got the track from one of our friends from Korea. He's a producer, and he said he had this track which was intended towards GOT7, and then we just started working on it, doing some melodies, doing some lyrics, and we started recording it, and we sent it over to them, and they like mixed it probably after that, and then they sent it to JYP, and then they selected the song for the title.
Yeah, so that was one of the few times where we work particular to a lead. So normally it's just write a lot of songs, and if they like one of them, they're gonna take it. But with the Not by the Moon, it was directly intended for GOT7. Yeah. So all parts and everything that we wrote was directed for each member, and the rap section was intended for the rappers. So to kind of incorporate everything.
Okay, next one here. Listen, you play Fortnite. We do not play Fortnite.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. That is. Let's see. Okay, we'll try to get all the questions. So maybe some of them we might skip really quickly. Let's see. Do you have a bias in BTS? We do not have a bias in BTS. We've heard a lot of their songs, of course, because we're in the industry, and we don't have any bias in there. But there's a lot of really, really talented singers and rappers in there. So nothing but respect from us to BTS. Are there any K-pop Are there any K-pop artists you really want to work with?
K-pop artists? No, like we've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of groups, a lot of different groups and different artists. So each one of them is a blessing, and every time we make a new song, there's a new group that cuts the song or buys it. So there's always new people and every time we get a new song, we learn about the fandom, and we learn about different the different songs. So for example, with GOT7, that was the first song that we got with GOT7. So when we heard that Not by the Moon was cut for them, we of course dived into it, and when we were writing the songs, we kind of dived into the whole the whole vibe of it and the whole fandom.
Yeah.
So there's not really a favorite one. As long as you want our song,
we'll be happy.
Yeah, we'll be happy. It doesn't matter who it is.
Let's see. Favorite K-pop group? Ooh, that's always difficult. We have a lot of groups.
Wasn't that the last question? What was I answering before?
No, like who do we want to work with? Yeah, like.
Okay.
Favorite K-pop group? We Okay, we'll do another question after. We'll just finish this. Favorite K-pop group? We don't really have a favorite K-pop group, I guess.
I think the first one we started, listening to, the first song was EXO. What is Love? Yeah, that was the first song we listened to when we were introduced to K-pop. So I think that was the first one that we the first group we listened to. But there's been so many. We've listened to NCT, EXO, BTS, GOT7, 17. Like there's a lot of groups that we listen to, so we need to
Super Junior.
Super Junior, yeah. Fucking love Super. I love Super Junior.
TVXQ, yeah. There's a lot of them. So yeah, should we go with the question we have down here?
So how do we start? So we started. Me and Jacob, we've known each other since 4th grade or something. So for a lot of years, we when we went to high school, we started making music together, and we were working on our artist career for ourselves. So we started making music together. And one time when we were working with a guy, a producer, he was doing a lot of K-pop. At the time, we didn't know what it was. So we were writing for our own project. He asked us if we wanted to go to Korea with him. To make some music, and we didn't know what it was. It happened so randomly. So he asked us if we wanted to go to Korea, and we took the flight and did our first song. Was called Rewind, and that was cut for an artist called Jumi. And from there on, we just kept on going.
Yeah.
Is there anything?
That was pretty much the story.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go to the next question. What do we have up here? Oh wow, there's a YouTube sticker. That doesn't sound like a question though. How did you go from Western music to K-pop? Well, it's kind of in the same alley as we said before. Like we started with kind of Western music, like what we did for ourselves, but then we kind of got invited to that camp in Korea and started trying to do K-pop. And ever since then, we've slowly, just been moving more and more into K-pop. And of course, Western music, K-pop, it's kind of hard to tell nowadays because K-pop has been so big now, and also in the Western world. So a lot of the songs that we write has that Western sound to them, and they still become, K-pop songs. So it's kind of, K-pop could be Western music as well.
Yeah, the gap between K-pop and Western music is narrowed in so much now.
Yeah.
So maybe when we first or before our time, there was a big difference, and it was two different worlds. But now when now and these days it's pretty much the same. So it's not like we go to the studio and we're like, now we're gonna do a song for K-pop, or now we're gonna do a song for Chris Brown or something. It's
just do a song.
Do a song, and then if it's good, then it's good in K-pop, in America. It doesn't matter where. So yeah,
that's true. Well, we got another question here, which is, do you often record yourselves playing instruments to your tracks? I mean, sometimes. But it's nowadays when you produce tracks, it's more it's easier, I would say, than it was back in the days where you had to play the bass and you had to play the guitar and maybe the piano. Nowadays and the drums. Nowadays you have like so many things in software, whereas you can just use the piano. You don't even have to use the piano, but you could use the piano to do the bass. You can do the drums. You can do everything from that. So we don't really typically record guitars and like basses and stuff, but we use most of like what they call plugins to do that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Do you have a bias in BTS? I think we answered that. We do not have a bias in BTS. Would you guys consider yourselves K-pop fans, and what are your ultimate biases, if so, in K-pop, favorite K-pop song? Good question. Yeah, I would consider us K-pop fans. You can say that when you work with K-pop, of course you become a fan of the art, and we've done it for so long now that, of course, I would consider myself a fan. I love talking about K-pop, and I love branding K-pop and telling all the great stories we have about K-pop, you know. So definitely.
Yeah, I think you have to be a K-pop fan to
Yeah.
write it. Of course, there are some people who's not like, they don't sit at home listening to K-pop, but for us, it's really important to be at one with the music and, you know, really dive into it, because if you don't really appreciate it, you know, you can hear it through the music. It often becomes very mimicky, but it truly has to come from you know, a good place. So yeah, I would like, I love listening to K-pop, and I love listening to music, you know, in general, but yeah, I definitely listen to K-pop. And if we have what was the and what is your ultimate bias? What is that?
Bias is like which member do we like
Member.
the most, like, of a group?
Bias.
I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. We like a lot of the artists and the individual members of the groups. I don't know whether if we have like an ultimate bias. I don't think we have.
No.
It's not something we at least talk about.
No.
Like,
I really love TVXQ.
Yeah.
TVXQ, yeah, I love them. Some of the songs we've done for them is some of my favorite songs. So
yeah,
I love TVXQ, but
and it kind of answers your favorite K-pop songs anyway.
Yeah, favorite. What is our favorite K-pop song? Do you have a favorite one?
Like, that depends. I guess we have to say "Not by the Moonlight" up here. Your head is blank. Thank you. That's. I mean, I love that song. But we have a lot of great songs that we kind of like.
But if it's not your own,
if it's not our own,
which one would you say? Because it's a little douchey to say.
Yeah, EXO, What Is Love? I don't know. Maybe it was because of the fact that. Maybe it was because of the fact that was the first song we got involved in K-pop. I don't know if it's that or it's just an extremely good song, but to me at least, that's one of the best songs.
Yeah, I love What Is Love and Tell Me What Is Love.
Which is kind of the same song.
Yeah, it's kind of the same, just more R&B-ish. Yeah. So yeah, it's different. It's different. Let's see.
Okay, we got some more questions down here, so we'll get back to the questions up here. No worries, guys. This one: do you produce or do you also write the lyrics? So we actually do both nowadays. In the beginning, we always started just doing melodies and doing the lyrics, which is one aspect of a song. Whereas we have 50% of the song is like the melodies and lyrics, and the remaining 50% is the production. So, you know, the beat. And in the beginning, we've always only done like lyrics and melodies, but like lately we've kind of gotten into the production as well. So probably not the best yet, but we're definitely getting into that.
Yeah, so there's a home for everyone if they want to get involved with K-pop. So you don't have to be a good producer. You can be a good singer. You could be a good top liner. You know, write melodies. You could be a great lyricist. You know, and it doesn't matter where. Like me and Jacob, we started working in a toilet, like a studio that was as you know, as big as a toilet. You know, and it. Like there wasn't even room for more than just us two. So it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you do it from. You don't have to have a big fancy studio to make K-pop. You don't have to be in America or in Korea to do it. You can do it here in Copenhagen, as we did, in a freaking toilet, just sitting writing music.
It goes to show that it doesn't matter how big the room is or where you're sitting, as long as you put in the work and
it's good quality.
And you're consistent and you're persistent, then it's going to be perfect.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's see if we have some more here. Do you have a favorite group that you've worked with? I think we kind of answered that, but we can briefly go over it again. Favorite group that we've worked with? I don't know.
Favorite group?
It's hard to say because, you know,
I just love all the songs that we've done. So there's not really like a favorite one.
No, it's not like we're trying to be diplomatic in any way or something, but we kind of like all the groups, you know, NCT, like, you know, GOT7,
Super Junior,
TVXQ, VIX, Lay. You know, like all of them, Shiny.
Yeah,
We
all
only
of them
got good things to say about all of the groups.
We've never had like a bad experience with any groups or any members or anything. Everyone has always been nice to us, and they've always slayed our songs, you know. So as a songwriter, the only thing you really want is justice for the song, and you want someone who can come in and slay the songs that we've done, and all of them have done it. You know, it has to be better than what we did, and so definitely everyone just went in and slayed it.
Totally. What was the let me see. What was the first K-pop artist you worked with? That was Zumi. He was a former member of Super Junior. I think the Mandarin version, you know, the Chinese subdivision, I think. And he was going to release his own solo project now. And it was the song that we did. I think it was one of the first songs we ever did in K-pop at the camp at SM Entertainment back in, I think it was 2014 or 15. And yeah, that song got cut for him, and it was his single for his album. That was the first song we ever.
Yeah, the first song we ever worked.
And the first artist that we worked with.
This was back in, I think, 2000 and what was it, 15 or 14? 15, yeah. So back in the days, yeah, that was a long time ago.
Okay. Do you often record yourself playing instruments? Okay, I guess we kind of had that.
Yeah,
but again, we could just briefly say that we don't really like play the guitar or bass in the track. You can find most of it like online in plugins nowadays. So you kind of just have to play it on the piano in some kind of way. That's kind of how we do it, at least. But of course, you can still get that live feeling of getting the real tracks down, the real instruments down. And we have a question here. Do you only like boy groups, or do you also like girl groups?
That's a good question.
It's not so much that we don't like girl groups, because we do. But as to male vocalists, it's kind of, I would say, down our alley to do boy band groups, because it
just comes natural.
It comes natural, and if you got to do it for a girl group, it's not the same as just doing a guy group. So you'd have to really get invested in that too, and trying to understand how the song is going to function. And for us, it's always, you know, up until now at least, been primarily towards boy bands.
Yeah. So, but it depends, you know. But just for us, it's you know, it's more natural for us to do boy songs. So, but it's never really. It's not because when we start making a song, it's like, oh, we want to write for a boy group. Only if it's a lead, if it's specific. But we just do what comes natural, because you can't force anything. You just have to go with the flow. And if it goes to a girl group, good. If it goes to a boy group, perfect. If it goes to whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. As long as it's always about, you know, as long as someone wants the song.
Exactly. And let's see. Do you often have you ever made a K-pop group? I don't think I understand the question. Have ever made a K-pop group? Like if we have ever made a K-pop group, or
good question. I don't know.
I mean, we, at least, I don't know if I understand it correctly, but we haven't made like a K-pop.
If we're in a K-pop group, hell no.
We haven't been in one, and it got retracted. Okay, no problem. Okay.
We got some questions here. This one is this.
How was your studio in the beginning, and how is it now? As Rudy briefly touched upon before, it was extremely small, and it was, back in the days, used probably as a toilet.
Yeah.
But then they kind of refurbished it and like made it into a studio, and we rented that for a period of time, and we did some of our like first songs there. We did so many songs in there, and then I would say up until maybe a year ago, more than a year ago, maybe 1.5 years ago, we moved into a bigger studio, which is it's still in the same place, same building, but just a different studio, which is a lot bigger than the other one. Fortunately, because now we can have sessions in there, and we can like have more people in there instead of just me and Rudy. So.
If you write the lyrics, do you write them in English and get it translated, or do you speak Korean?
Good question. We do the lyrics in English, and we sing them in English. We sing the song in there, and if a company decides to use the song for a group, they'll translate it into Korean. But of course, sometimes they keep some of the words in English. You all know that, but it is somebody that goes in and translates it into Korean. And sometimes it does. It's not like a straight translation. Sometimes they kind of just tries to do it in the same alley as the other one, so it doesn't sound strange if you just translate it like immediately from English to Korean.
Yeah, so it's different. Like we don't speak Korean, no. but it's different. Sometimes they use the lyrics that we've done, or sometimes they build a different concept. They build a different storyline. So because sometimes it's very important for them to have this the same universe when they're building an album, and you can't expect 10 different top liners and 10 different songs to all have the same theme. Or the same, story. So sometimes they have to change it up to kind of match the whole album and the vibe. So
which ones are done? Let's make it.
This one is done.
Choose most between.
This one is
give us a second, guys. Sorry.
This one's done.
This one's done.
This one is done. And this one, yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, maybe we'll take a couple of questions up here. Do you often? No, we had that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay. So some of the questions, sorry guys, they are from up here. So
okay. Yeah.
Been notified now.
Okay.
Perfect.
It's better that.
Okay. So we'll continue here. Which song that you worked on changed the most between when you worked on it and when it was released? That's a great question. That is actually a great question.
Yeah.
I guess Not by the Moon.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends if you mean changed melodically or lyrically. Because most of our songs have always kept the same title as we called the songs. But not by the Moon. They didn't do it like that. We didn't call it Not by the Moon.
We actually didn't even have that whole theme.
No.
So our theme was called Paranoid, and it's actually weird because that song was if you hear the original demo that we did. It's about being in the club and you're paranoid and you're on all kinds of things.
It wasn't as romantic as it was there.
It was a club banger, and so they changed the whole lyrics.
Sentiment of the song,
and it made it very like Romeo and Juliet, but that has nothing to do with us.
No. They kept all of the melodies to the point. They didn't touch.
They didn't change anything. No, it was all our melodies and everything.
But the lyrics, we cannot take any credit for that.
No, that was Mr. JYP, man. He just he went.
Whoever translated it.
Yeah, I think he was the one who wrote the lyrics, wasn't it?
Him and one more.
And one more, because I think they wanted to. I think Paranoid was maybe a little bit too out there for GOT7, so
they didn't want to go that way.
No. But it was but
that changed really.
Yeah, that changed lyrically, not so much melodic. So if you hear the song that we've done, it's the same song. It's just different lyrics. You would hear the same song. But did we have anyone that really changed like melodically?
Cherry Bomb was kind of a.
Yeah, Cherry Bomb was strange as that was strange.
At one point, we didn't even know what was how it was gonna sound, But we had so many people involved in that song, so it was kind of.
Yeah,
it was kind of a fun song to do, and how it turned out. So that kind of changed a bit from how we thought it was going to originally sound like.
Because that started totally different, and that's also different of different. It takes different times, and it's a different story every time you make a song. Like Cherry Bomb, it was, all over the world, people from all over the place, trying to make this song happen. And we wanted to do the single for NCT. And sometimes it's in your basement somewhere, or maybe it's in a camp where you're in Korea. So there's a different story every time.
Yeah. Okay, so that one is. Do you have any funny stories, moments, funny stories or moments working with idols?
Depends. Like, if, for example, like I think songwriters and producers, our life are always kind of pictured very flashy, and we're in there with EXO, we're best friends with them, and
it's not true.
It's not true. So that's not like for us. It's more of a business. So of course you love it, and you're in SM and you're working with JYP and all these people, but
we're not really in sessions with like NCT when that song was made.
When Cherry Bomb was made, it was strictly just songwriters and producers. Everything is behind the scenes. There's no involved. We didn't even know that it was NCT. We knew that was NCT,
but it's not always that we know which group is going to do the song.
No.
So if we do like 100 songs a year, and one of them gets cut for a group, we'll know when it gets cut, for which group it's going to be for.
Yeah.
So we do have some moments though. We've met Lay.
That's true. Yeah,
he was extremely funny.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy. He was extremely respectful because he had heard that we were in town in Korea, and so he had stopped by SM Entertainment just to come visit us and say hi, and because we had 3 songs with him on his album. So it was a pleasure to meet him.
Yeah, that was funny because he came in in the midst of a session, and we were talking with him, and he was showing us all beats and stuff like that. It's just very like regular guy. It's not.
He was very down to earth.
Very down to earth. We just talked it out, and talked about music and how we made the songs, and how he made the beats, and so with Lay it was always kind of like personal.
It really was.
We got to know him on our personal level. We also met Junghyun. That's not maybe a funny moment, but
he was also extremely respectful.
Extremely respectful, yeah. And
that was way before we had a placement with him. So he didn't really know us back then. He had just heard of some of the songs that we had done before.
Yeah.
And still then he was extremely, extremely polite and came over to us, and he was like, he shook our hands, and he was so respectful.
Yeah, very good guy. Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
We were lucky to have a couple of songs with him too. Yeah. And met him. Yeah.
So moving on. Let's see. Next question.
Oh, this is a good one too.
Which song took you the longest to make? That's probably a song we've done like 2 days ago, because that song took like 7 days.
Yeah, that song. So
we're not gonna talk about like the song and everything, but
no. So for example, Cherry Bomb took a half an hour.
Maybe not half. It took
maybe 45 minutes.
It was a day's work. Yeah.
It was very little. So that was maybe top 1 hour, and that was it for Cherry Bomb from our part. Not by the Moon took maybe 2 days.
2 to 3 days.
2 to 3 days to make. That was a little longer. Lay was maybe one song.
So two days per.
Yeah.
The regular for us is 2 days per
song
track. Yeah, per track and song.
I don't think if was there anyone who just really dragged out.
I don't know. Some of them are from camps. The songs we did are from camps, and at camps you don't have more than 1 or 2 days anyway, so you cannot like use any more time on that.
Yeah, just to explain to people, camp is maybe not everyone who knows, but camps is like when you go to Korea. So for example, SM, they invite some top liners and producers to come to Korea and work on different songs and leads. So they send out leads every maybe 3 times a year, where they ask, for example, can you we need a song for this guy, or we need a song from this group. Is it possible to can you make a song for this artist? And that's the camp. But I think the longest one, maybe Super Junior.
Which one?
Super Junior.
Which
one? One more time.
One more time. I don't know. Yeah.
Wasn't that?
Now we spent on melodies. We didn't spend much time on that. And I think 2 days tops. 1 day melodies and then 1 day.
But you came in, did it the first day.
That was 45 minutes. You came in 45 minutes, so it's not.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
sure. 1 day, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not that song.
I think the longest we've spent on a song is 7 days. At least.
Yeah.
That's all.
But that song
that was way too long for one song. But
oh my god,
it turned out great anyway. So
yeah.
hopefully it's.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta take in the process. Sometimes, and that's the funny thing about songwriting. It's that you never know. It's not like a 9 to 5 job. It's not like you can. It's not like working in a grocery store or working somewhere. You don't know what the time is. Sometimes we come at the studio at 10 and we leave at 1. Sometimes we're at the studio from 10 to 9. Late at night. Yeah. So it's different. I think with the Not by the Moon, we were there till like 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah, we were there late.
And I really hated it. I remember I had quite the attitude.
Yeah, you had quite the attitude. You don't like being there late.
I love coming in at 9 and just straight up walking out at 2, 3. That's more than enough. But
it turned out great anyway. So it's all. For the
sometimes
best
it's worth it. But sometimes we have for every cut we have
a funny story.
We have a funny, but also for every cut we have 100 songs that no one will ever hear.
That didn't get cut. It's not all like, oh wow, these guys they do 2 songs a year and they get
cut. Yeah,
it's not like that. We do a lot of songs, and a lot of songs don't get cut.
A lot of them are trash.
At least that they're not trash, but at least
a lot of them. Some of them are trash.
Yeah, but at least it's some of them haven't been cut yet. It could still happen in the future. So it's not like just because they didn't get cut right away, they can't get cut later. We've had songs that were written 3 years ago that got cut. So you never know who's going to take it.
Exactly.
Let's see. How is the process of working with / creating a song and what problems comes with it? Time limit or losing inspiration? That's a great question. Losing inspiration, that happens quite often actually. Because when you do so many songs and you constantly have to come up with new ideas, something that hasn't been heard before, it's hard and it's draining, and it's not every day that you can go in and feel like, wow, this is a hit. So it is kind of a burden sometimes. Time limit as well, as you put down here in the question, very nice. Sometimes we have a very strict time limit on when the song is going to be delivered. And if we don't have the right inspiration for the song, it's going to be a problem to get it down before the deadline. So it's actually you put them down actually perfectly. It's 2 of the biggest problems that we face as top liners.
But you just have to always be trying to think positive of it, because sometimes you don't even like. Sometimes you really hate the song you're writing, and sometimes you don't like it. Sometimes you went all this way, you did all the recordings, and then you're like, oh my god, this is trash. But even some of our biggest songs, they were made this way. Like I hated One More Time. I couldn't stand the song. And all the whole way to Sweden, when we had to record the song, the demo, I was trashing it. I didn't like it.
He was not happy.
I was not happy about the song. I thought it was too weird. I was like, who is gonna make a Latin song in Korea? Like, this is so outdated. But they freaking nailed it, and now Super Junior is extremely popular in South America. But at the time, I didn't understand it, But sometimes you just have to believe in the process and just trust him.
And also remember that we're never going to be the judge of the songs anyways. Yeah. So it's always going to be somebody else and their opinion that matters. And what we like doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So can we hear some of your demos, for example, one more time?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is online. I think they have a lot of, restrictions on, playing the real demos of the songs, because, as soon as we sell the song, it's not our song anymore. And if we are, it probably wouldn't have been a problem if it was down here live, but once it's been recorded, it's probably not the best idea for us to do that. But it's a great song. We can tell you that much.
That's true.
One more questions do we have here? So we don't know. Maybe some of them. We'll get some questions.
Oh,
in
yeah,
here.
cool.
Thank you. What was the longest period of time between writing a song and getting the song cut? I think it was the aforementioned 3 years, maybe.
But which one was that?
I don't know, but it must be the longest, because we've been doing K-pop for like 4 to 5 years now. So of course that would always be the maximum. But yeah, I think 3 years maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know which song it was, but
yeah, we've had some songs that got cut a
took
lot.
a long time. Yeah,
took a long time. So you never really know when it's gonna get cut.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just comes natural, just whenever, and sometimes it comes after a week, 2 weeks. Sometimes it comes 3 years.
You forget about the song. The song didn't exist, and
then it comes back haunting you. So it's different. You never know. You just gotta keep on going, be positive, and believe in your songs. But it's hard to, of course, because we've been doing K-pop for 5 years, and I still hate some of the songs, So you can't be sure. But just try to be as positive as some of them are. Even if you feel that they're not the best, someone else can think it's a banger. So
exactly. Okay. Do you guys have a favorite genre to produce?
R&B.
R&B. Yeah.
It's gotta
R&B,
be
urban, kind of. Sometimes R&B, hip hop. Kind of, but mostly like just plain old R&B is our favorite one.
Yeah.
Like we do a lot of stuff. We like do Latin, we do pop in general. We do pop. We do rap. We do like urban hip hop stuff. We do ballads. But what we do enjoy doing the most is the R&B stuff.
Exactly. That's what we grew up listening to. Grew up with 2000s and 90s R&B. So we've always loved R&B, and you always have something. You can do whatever. We can do all genres, as Jay told. But mostly we love doing R&B. That's what comes most natural to us. But doesn't really for us. If there's a lead, we'll do it. But the genre I really enjoy making is R&B. It's got to be R&B.
It really is.
Yeah. Some good ass songs, let's see.
So let's see. Next question. Maybe we'll just grab one up from here. The demos. What was the longest? Do you have you worked together with Western artists? We've worked with the Reik. They were collab on One More Time with Super Junior, but I don't think we've had anything like else that is Western, I would say.
No, yeah, no, I don't think so.
I think it's mainly we've had our own stuff, but it's.
I wouldn't qualify that.
I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd call it Western or just garbage. But it's.
Or just garbage.
But
oh my god.
But yeah, we've done for ourselves, and sometimes we've like co-written some stuff, but we don't have like a.
No, it's mostly just been K-pop for us. Like we didn't choose, we didn't choose K-pop. It kind of chose us, and we fell in love with it. But this was never like the intention for us growing up. It wasn't like I was in kindergarten dreaming of becoming a songwriter or something.
It was always the artist. Career
that was speaking to us. Everyone wants to be Justin Bieber, but once you notice that you don't look like Justin Bieber, you have to face the truth, and then you
gotta be like, cool, I'll be behind the scenes. I'll write the songs for Justin Bieber.
So he kind of chose us, the life, but so it is
harsh realities of life.
Of course, if you had the chance to become an artist, go for it.
Yeah,
but if you don't, then
there's always songwriting.
There's always songwriting. Yeah.
Okay, do you have any tips for people who want to start producing? Yeah, we do. We have a lot of tips. So it depends on, you mean producing tracks or just producing songs in general. For tracks, we would say get a computer, preferably a Mac. That's what we use. I would say 90% of the industry probably uses Mac. And then you got to download your DAW, which is DAW, which is, I think it's digital audio something W. And we use Logic, but there's tons of other different programs you could use. There's Ableton, there's Cubase, There's a lot of them. You can just kind of go to Google and see different DAWs, DAWs, and you can find the one that suits you the most. And then you just got to start by getting the understanding down of how a song is built. You mostly always start with the intro, which is like maybe only 10 seconds. Then you go to a verse, and you go to pre, and then to a chorus, sometimes a post-chorus, and then back to verse again, pre again, chorus again, go to a bridge, and go to the final chorus. So that's the standard buildup of a song. Once you understand that, you can kind of start to listen to other songs to see how they build their songs. And then it's just buying a lot of different plugins to use to produce it. And that's kind of in the production, at least.
In the songwriting, it depends on if you are like making. So first of all, you kind of have to find your niche in the market. You have to. Are you a producer, or are you a top liner, singer, a lyricist? So you have to find out what's your strength. For me and Jacob, it was that we could sing. So we were artists. We could sing songs, and then we learned doing melodies and then lyric. But it's not like me and Jacob sits at home with a notepad, writing lyrics, and I'm watching the beach or something.
No.
So it's I'm not good at that. There are people who are amazing at writing concepts and stories through music, but that's not us. We're really good at making melodies, making hooks and catchy melodies and rap and whatever. And then we're really good at singing, and we're good at producing beats. But so you have to find your strength. Well, what makes what can you offer? Yeah.
What can you bring to the table?
Yeah.
That's true. Are you stars / fame? I guess some people would probably wouldn't know how we looked, but they've probably seen our name in the credits sometimes on various kind of projects. But so in that way, I guess you could say a lot of people would probably know who we were, but they probably wouldn't be able to connect it with our faces.
So they're in Korea. They're much more. What do you say? Like uppmärksam.
That's a good question.
Yeah,
aware.
Yeah, they're more aware on the songwriters. So they're really focused on who wrote the song, who wrote the song, what was I gonna say?
I don't know, but
yeah, but so are we famous? So no, like we tried one time, living in the
we thought we're famous.
We thought we were famous. We were in SM. We were working late. In the building, in their headquarters in Gangnam. We were working late, till maybe like 2 at night. And there was like 200 people waiting outside because I think it was EXO or something. Yeah, was in the building, but they weren't on the same floor as us. They were. They were
practicing somewhere,
practicing dances and stuff like that. So, but we were up at third floor. Third floor is for the songwriters and producers. And so we were working, and all the fans were waiting.
And it was like 3 o'clock in the night.
And they just wanted to see that. To see that glam stuff.
Really wanted to see Kai or something, but not Jay and Rudy.
No, they didn't come for Jay and Rudy. And so when we were done. And we had to go out, all these paparazzis and flashlights, and everyone was waiting. And the doors at SM.
The slide doors that kind of opens like we're an X Factor or something.
Yeah, very slow. and everyone was screaming when they saw his face. It was like, oh yeah, Baekhyun, where are you? And then they saw our faces, and I've never seen so much disappointment at one time. They were so sad. It was like and they're like, ugh.
They're kind of disgusted. Who the hell are these people?
I understand.
I understand, of course, but so they got disappointed, and that kind of sums up that we are not.
Yeah, not at all. No.
In that way.
That was the closest that we got.
That was the closest, yeah.
Yeah, but never further than that.
Never further than that, yeah. How do companies choose your songs? Are they on a portfolio somewhere where the companies can listen to them? Also a great question. So what we have with the company we're signed to is that we have a catalog, which is every time we finish up a song, we put it in the catalog. And then sometimes they pitch the song immediately to different companies. And sometimes they take it and sometimes they don't. Otherwise, it just goes back to the catalog. And every time they try to look for something that is the same as maybe one of the songs we have, they can like gain access to our, catalog and see the song or see if it's something for them. So it's basically just the company that we're signed to, our publishers at Echo Music Rights, they kind of take care of all of this for us, so we can just focus on the creative part. So they pitch the songs to different companies. They have the contact and everything. So
exactly. So
kind of piling up here.
When did you guys discover K-pop for the first time?
That was in 2014, 15.
2004. 2014, I think. Yeah, back then. I think that was when we were we were at the session with a producer called Obi, and we were working for our own project, and he was a K-pop producer. He was already famous. He did Sexy Free and Single for Super Junior back in the days. So we were working with him for our own Danish project, and he needed some writers to come with him to Korea. And he told us, guys, I need you to come with me.
And we had never heard about K-pop.
Yeah, we didn't know what it was. Like it was like telling your grandmother about K-pop or something. Like we had no idea what it was. So we heard it and we're like, damn, this is like true R&B music. And this was, when EXO did the What Is Love. That was the first one. Oh, sorry. So that was the first time. That was the first one we did, and so yeah, that was. What was I talking about?
I don't know. Minor disturbance here. But anyway, where did we come from?
Yeah, so that was the first time. 2014. That was the first time. Yeah, we heard about it. About K-pop. Yeah. And
do you play any instruments? We do. We do play a bit of piano, not much. Wouldn't brag about it. The guitar. Both of us play a bit of guitar, and I used to play the drums. I don't want to sound like, but I used to play a bit of the drums. But of course, we play it mainly in the computer, in the sense of like getting it into a song. So in that way, we kind of play a lot of instruments, but in real life, we kind of don't really play the bass or anything, even though we know how to program it in the song. But yeah, it's kind of
but not really. Like we're not musically gifted or anything.
We're not.
So if you're no Mozart or something, don't worry. You don't have to be like we never had any education in music. We never had anything. Just yeah, we at that time when we first began, it was just that we could sing. But of course, it's preferable and it's better if you can play something. But
definitely, yeah.
But even if you can't, just find what you're good at.
We know a lot of producers that don't even know how to play a single instrument, but they still make amazing tracks. So it just goes to show that you don't have to play an instrument. Even as a singer, or doing the song, being a good songwriter doesn't equal having to sing really well.
No. Not at all.
You can be a great songwriter and not have not being able to sing in the song yourself, but as long as you'll be able to show your idea to somebody that can sing it in, it's perfect. It's no problem.
Yeah. So we know people in the industry, some great writers who can sing.
Yeah.
But they're really good at ideas, concept. And some people are not even good at that, but they have amazing attitude.
Yeah.
Some people wants that too. It's someone who comes in.
Whatever creates the best song.
Whatever creates the best. So if you're maybe not good at, you're not good at instruments, not good at producing, you're not good at melodies, you're not good at lyrics, then at least have a good attitude. If you come in with a good attitude,
sometimes that would Sometimes people might be like, get the hell out of the studio. But it all depends on the vibe, in sessions.
Whatever you bring.
As long as you bring something to the table, it's always perfect.
Exactly.
And what more questions? Do you have any tips for we did that? Are you stars? No, we're not. What are some of the other K-pop artists you've worked with? Okay, we've worked with GOT7, Super Junior, NCT, TVXQ, Vix, Lay,
Shiny,
Reigns, Astro,
Junghyun.
Junghyun.
There's a lot. I can't really remember all of them.
I think there's more.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of them. You know, there maybe
then,
not a lot, but there is some.
And then there's of course going to be more for the future as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully soon we'll be able to let you guys in on some of the new stuff we've been working on.
So we got some good news in 2020. We got some good songs coming out soon.
Yeah.
And some big ones. So it's been a very good year for us, and it's gonna be even better soon.
Okay, let's see if we have some more questions before we wrap this up. When did you guys, I think we did that. In a lot of K-pop songs, there are usually either rap, dance break, or vocal. C part, nice. Which ones do you...
been dropping them good-ass questions.
Yeah, Carol, man, you really... Those are some good questions. Which one do we prefer?
C
part. The
C part is for the R&B fellas
the bridges,
out there.
That's very dear to our heart, I would say.
Because everyone knows in
like,
K-pop,
let's take Cherry Bomb.
Yeah, in Cherry Bomb, the C pop where it's like that part was, when you hear that and you know Jay and Rudy and you've heard us, you know that's Jay and Rudy.
Yeah.
You know that the most R&B part, of course, that's us. So every C part in K-pop, most of the times, not all the times, but I would say 80%, it's the most R&B part.
Yeah, it does the breakdown part where somebody has to pour their heart.
Somebody
out,
has to pour it out, bring out them Tyrese voices,
and that's where we
excel. Yeah,
we love being there. Yeah. But I guess sometimes it depends on the song. Sometimes I love a verse. Sometimes I love like this, Not by the Moon. I love the chorus. I actually like every part of the song, but. Yeah,
that was one of the. Yeah, that was a good ass song.
That was really. So maybe we have. Did you feel a difference between SM and JYP?
Good question. Good question.
No, I feel like the hospitality of both of them are amazing. We've had great contacts with both of them. We only have nice things to say about both of the companies. Of course, we've worked a lot with SM Entertainment. We're also signed to Echo Music Rights, which is kind of a sub kind of thing to SM Entertainment. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, both of them very nice. But SM, it's just SM was the one who really brought us in.
Place, yeah.
We've known them since 2014, and they've always been very nice to us, and it will always be a special place for us in SM.
Yeah.
But we love JYP. We love Mr. JYP. Perfect. We love the groups there too, and it was an honor.
It's an honor to work with both of them. Yeah.
Because when you really start thinking about it, it's like two guys from Denmark had the chance, and being so blessed that you could write a song for God 7, write the single. Because what we heard, it was how many was it? 600 people
at least
applied.
500 songs
applied. It's like a scholarship.
And these are our top producers and songwriters. It's not just anybody that gets to submit the song. You've had to been in some form of contact with the company. So it's a lot of professionals. And for us to bag that single, that was an honor.
Yeah, it's an honor.
Of course, we're extremely proud and happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let me see. There's someone here.
I think it's this one.
Do
you work mostly in DK or in Korea? We work. We work 99% of the time here in Denmark, and sometimes we go abroad. We go to Korea maybe a couple times a year. Of course, now with the whole COVID-19 situation, it's not really possible to travel at the moment. But yeah, we were in Korea, right before the COVID-19 kind of broke out. So we're there in January.
Can we say we work? Can we say the company?
No, I don't know. But anyway, we're there in.
We were working with a company, but more news on that when it comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but this one wasn't SM and JYP.
No,
so it's a quiz. This one, but we were invited for the first time to work with a different company. So we came to we went there in January. Started.
And then we were actually also in Sweden in February. So that was like right before.
Yeah, I think we should have been
shut down.
traveled. We had a lot of like traveling to do this year.
But yeah, hopefully
yeah.
it's gonna.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, yeah. To sum up the question, we work in our own studio here in Denmark, primarily like all the time, and sometimes we go to camps in different countries, and that's kind of it. Let's see. I think there's one last question here that just snuck up on here. Do you get sent free copies of the albums? Yeah, sometimes we do. A lot
We actually
of the copies,
gave one.
we gave one away.
Yeah,
like,
last time we were here, we
that was
had
a signed copy.
Yeah, we had a signed copy from NCT for Cherry Bomb that we worked on. So that was the team of NCT that signed it and sent it to us. So they always do that. They always send like personal, thank you for working on the album. And
they're very respectful in that way. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of copies at our studio. Maybe
Mhm.
next time we can send over some pictures to you guys so you can see
how our
how our
studio
studio
looks.
looks like. And of course, it's not like this. We don't have that much.
Nah,
but
Maybe in a couple of years.
maybe in a couple of years we'll.
Oh, there's one too. Time slip.
Time slip, nice.
I think actually nu har vi gjort bare kødder det godt.
Yeah,
Vi har brug for det. Det har vi faktisk ikke fået
we
endnu.
didn't get the
Nah.
that one yet, so maybe we'll buy it from you guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that was pretty much it. I think it's
Awesome.
time for us to wrap it up. Thank you so much, guys, for all your questions. It's been a pleasure. Do you ever work with London Noise?
No, I love
No,
London Noise.
Not yet,
But
but hopefully,
London Noise.
nice. But hopefully in the future we'll work with them. But not yet.
No, not yet. But we were actually before we go at a virtual camp because of Corona. We can't go to camp, so we did a virtual camp with
Our own studio,
at our studio with and they were there too, and some of other producers and writers. But yeah, we never got the chance to work with them. But
maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time
we'll work with them.
we can work with them.
But anyways, thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure talking to you guys, and thank you for all the great questions. I mean, that was really dope.
Yeah.
And yeah, take care of yourselves in
Take care, guys.
this period of time.
Stay safe.
And stay safe. Hi, guys. Are we gonna just keep the hands there? Oh shit! It keeps going. This is awkward.